Good afternoon to you there in Manila, Philippines. I understand I'm talking to the class of Dr. Tadeo on Masters of Education Management 506 Seminar Research. Good afternoon again. I have been requested by my good friend, Mr. John Eric Tapales, to talk about the difference between management and leadership. What is managing as against what is leading? I have been asked to make this video as a backup for the possibility of the internet connection being slow and the Skype being not so good on the very hour and day of your class. So here goes. And by the way, I've also been asked to talk about this for 10 minutes. I find that rather difficult to do without the interaction with you guys, but let me try anyway. Here goes. I know that you are all very well aware of the plethora of information on the subject. Books, journals, just hit the net and you'll have a flood of information about this. Let me share to you my insights based on my 20 years experience in training and people development. Let me begin by quoting the dictionary. Don't you think that's a very safe and the best place to begin with, right? Let's begin with Webster. Webster defines a manager as a person who conducts business or household affairs. Conducts business affairs or even household affairs. So when you conduct business affairs, what does it mean? You need to utilize manpower, equipment, supplies, finances, and you get projects done, right? But Webster goes on to define a leader as this: a person who has commanding authority or influence. Commanding authority or influence. Meaning what? You have influence on people, you have authority on people. But then you can also be an authority on a subject, or you can have an influence on the subject, right? But what does it mean when you have authority and influence? It means you can move everybody to action. It means you can influence people to do something that you'd like them to do. All right. Now, there's another definition which I really like, and even better, if I may say so, from the Word Web Dictionary. He defines a manager as someone who controls resources and expenditures. Someone who controls resources and expenditures. Resources. It includes people, right? It includes your manpower. You control them. Resources also include material things. What does your equipment, your supplies, your very own office, your real estate resources, your finances. You control these resources, and you control the expenditure of these resources. Meaning, when you talk of expenditure, it's not just finance. It's how you spend how and use your materials, your supplies, your equipment as well, and of course your money. So you control that. That's who a manager is, someone who controls resources and expenditures. But a leader on the other hand is defined as a person who rules, guides, or inspires others. It's specific about people. A person who rules, guides, or inspires others. You don't guide and inspire your material things. You guide or inspire people. Perhaps this is best understood when posed as a question, can you manage your supplies? Can you manage your equipment? Can you manage your finances? Can you manage your time? Yes, of course, some of you who have gone through various trainings on time management have probably heard that you don't manage time. Because time just flies no matter what you do, whether you stand up and get things done or you sit down, time flies anyway. So you don't manage time, you manage yourself. You manage the project, you manage your activities. That's what it says. But but in the context of time management, meaning you utilize your time well, so you manage your time, right? So again, can you manage your supplies? Can you manage your materials? Can you manage your time? Can you manage your finances? Yes. But can you lead them? Do you lead your supplies, your material things? Do you lead your equipment? Do you lead your time? Do you lead your finances? No. You lead people. And when you lead people, it means you guide them. You inspire them. I have another question. What is broader in scope? Management or leadership? What do you think? What's broader in scope? Management or leadership? See, when you lead people. But when you manage people, yes, and material resources and financial resources. So is management broader? It would seem so, right? But what is more noble? What would give bigger impact? What would get things done better? Is it managing or leading? I would offer it's leading, because when you lead people, people can find the right resources, including material things, to get things done. So managing may cover people and material things, and leading may focus on people. But when you lead people the right way, people will find the necessary materials and equipment and finances to get things done. So broader, maybe management, but bigger, more noble, what can get things accomplished, I believe, is leadership, is leading. That is why a lot of resources, a lot of authors distinguish managing and leading as this. A manager administers, whereas a leader innovates. A manager maintains things, things are as they are, make sure they're followed. But a leader is he who develops more, develops procedures, develops new ways of doing things, and develops the very people he is leading. A manager is more focused on system and structure, whereas the leader is more focused on people. And they say a manager communicates, but a leader persuades. See, that's a huge difference there. A manager directs groups, but a leader creates teams. And here's something really important. A manager takes credit. When the people below him, his subordinates, accomplishes things, he claims, it's under my management that they accomplish this. But a leader, on the other hand, takes responsibility over his people, and when people accomplish things, then he gives the credit to them, thus inspiring people more to accomplish more. Again, we can go on and on rambling about this, but I'd like to go back to the definition of a manager, who is someone who controls resources and expenditures, whereas a leader is a person who rules, guides, or inspires others. And I would like to end my talk with this question. Can you manage your supplies, your materials, your time, your finances? Yes. But can you lead them? No. You lead people so they utilize your supplies, materials, time, finances well, and get things done. And therein lies the basic difference between managing and leading. Good afternoon, you all.